This isn't good, and let me show you why. I'm out here in a 10-acre section of woods that I've fenced in to run pigs in. It's primarily hardwoods, but I run them through here in the fall when it's usually fairly dry, and so that they can harvest the acorns out of here. Usually by mid-September, we've got acorns starting to fall, and they'll continue to fall on into November and December in this lot. I'm not sure if it's just being delayed, but I suspect that we're not going to have much of an acorn crop because we had a really dry fall last year. We had a really dry spring and summer this year, and I think that's going to impact the acorn crop this year. It's pretty disappointing, but I'm going to kind of punt and try to figure out what to do next. So rather than getting ready to move the pigs into this wooded lot, I think what I'm going to do is move the pigs into the field behind me here that's got cover crops growing in it, and we've gotten just enough rain that the daikon radishes are performing beautifully. Let me show you. This is the field I plan on moving the pigs into. They're right on the other side of these little trees here in that pasture paddock. The last time I grazed this field, I did not have this dividing fence in, so it should be a good bit easier to strip graze this. This is the best production of brassicas that we've had out here on this part of the farm. Some of these radishes are nearly knee-high on me. And of course, there's some sorghum sudan grass in here as well. What I'm really pleased about, what I'm especially pleased about, is this really tall chicory. I usually don't get chicory quite that tall, so I'm really pleased about that growth there as well. Because we've had such good growth on this paddock, I think I'm going to graze it with the pigs and then reseed it and plan on grazing it again in February or March, sometime in there. My lawnmower's not out here right now, and I can use my weed eater, which will save a good bit of forage. The problem with a weed eater is I've got to put a new primer bulb in it, so I think I'm going to try that. These pigs are certainly ready to move. So I had to come back to the house to get the weed eater and to replace the primer bulb. I had not planned on moving the pigs this morning. This is one of those tasks that I've put off longer than I had intended to. That took less than 10 minutes, but I should have done two things differently. First, I should not have put my hand on the muffler after I was test running it, but before I got the guard on, when I was running it, I shouldn't have had it in a pile of wood chips in the back of the truck that would blow everywhere once the string started turning. Boneheaded moves seem to be the name of the game today. So I've got this set up, but it's almost noon, and it's kind of warm, so I'm going to wait until later this evening or first thing tomorrow morning to actually move the pigs in here. Close this off so the pigs won't have access to that paddock. I put a back fence up right there at that, where that reel is, that runs over there. And so the pigs have a little bit of shade, some sorghum sudan grass, a good bit of chicory, and a lot of daikon radish that they can graze on in this quarter acre or so. I'll leave them here for 2 or 3 days, and then I'll start strip grazing them down that one. Then I'll strip graze them back up or down this one right here. The sun has set, as you can tell behind me over there, and I'm about to move these pigs and get them in here. It's cooler. They are ready to move. I've already gotten the water, and I'll get that set. I'll show you that in just a minute. But let's get these little devils off on over here. Sweet! Sweet! Come on, pigs! Come on, pigs! Sweet! Sweet! They weren't paying very close attention when I pulled up the fence. Don't make me get a bucket of feed for y'all. Yeah. I hear you. Come on, pigs. There they go. Come on, pigs. Come on, pigs. Come on, pigs. Oh, y'all went the wrong way. That's the downside. Come on, pigs. Come on, pigs. Come on, pigs! Come on, pigs! That one's got a limp. He hadn't done too well, and I don't know if he's gonna come on over or not. There he goes. I hate that I had to do it, but I wound up having to dump, oh gosh, about 5 pounds of grain on the ground to get that little hurt one across. But anyway, oh well. That is part of it sometimes. I was hoping to give you just a little bit of an idea of how they would forage on this stuff. Unfortunately, moving the pigs across was a little more problematic. It took him a little bit longer, and so the pigs were more interested in feed. This group hadn't been foraging quite as much. In fact, they've had access to free choice feed now for while they're foraging for over a month and a half. So they're going to take a little bit of a time to adjust to an all forage diet, and I'll start giving them a little bit of grain every day along with the feed. Before dark catches us too much, let me just show you a little bit more about how full this paddock is. This daikon is probably the best crop of daikon that I've grown. We don't have a whole lot of root formation, but there's a lot of forage. And honestly, the forage is what I'm after right now. I'll replant it after I move the pigs off. They'll probably be in this section for another 3 or 4 days, maybe a little bit longer. It depends on how well they eat it. And then I'll give them a fresh strip of forage every couple of days and keep moving them down the line. The daikons have grown really, really well. And then we've got a good bit of forage on the chicory. It's almost knee-high on me. So it's close to 16 or 18 inches tall. And honestly, that chicory is just as important to me as the daikon. And of course, there's some sorghum sudan grass and maybe a little bit of immature buckwheat as well. Because it's early October, I've still got a lot of time to graze these paddocks. Then I can put something like hairy vetch, cereal rye, ryegrass, grazing wheat, or something like that out here for the pigs to graze on. So even though we may not get the acorn crop that I was hoping for, the pigs will get a good bit of daikon crop, and then I'll come back and reseed this field after I move the pigs off of it. That pig right there is pushing 200 pounds. That gives you a little frame of reference. This is some of the shorter parts, and these pigs are 150 to 200 pounds, I'm guessing. And they are just, but they're finding something to graze.